From the days of ancient history to the present, scholars have attempted to refine the art of persuasion and develop methods to do so effectively. If, like me, you are in the business of trying to change the world, this knowledge goes a long way in order to more effectively articulate your message and get it across to an audience. In this presentation, I will describe one method of argumentation that is helpful to consider when trying to change the minds of others. Social judgment theory was first posited by Muzaffar Sharif, and it describes the way an individual shapes their belief system. Sharif writes of a continuum on which opinions lie. On this line falls the latitude of acceptance, the latitude of non-commitment, and the latitude of rejection. Within the latitude of acceptance, there is a position on which the individual anchors themselves or identifies most strongly with. Then, the latitude of non-commitment contains messages that the receiver neither accepts nor rejects. Thus, it follows that those things that a person totally disagrees with fall in the latitude of rejection. So how does this information help us when we are trying to convince others to change their minds? Ego involvement is a major factor in the ease at which this can be done. This means that the more a person is emotionally involved in an issue, the less likely they are to accept messages that do not reinforce their opinion. Religion, politics, and family are three areas Sharif says are especially ego-involved. If the message falls too far outside the latitude of acceptance or non-commitment, it will cause the receiver to react in a negative way and become more entrenched in their beliefs. Sharif calls this the Boomerang Effect. If we want to effectively persuade someone, then, the best technique is to determine where the audience's anchor lies and present an opinion which is outside the latitude of acceptance, but within the latitude of non-commitment. This implies, then, that a shift in beliefs only occurs incrementally over time and not all at once. Take, for example, Kanye West's famous 2005 incident on national television, which has been immortalized in pop culture to this day.
Destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
Now, George Bush himself, who is heavily ego-involved with the issue and does not believe, or at least define himself to be a racist, demonstrates the boomerang effect in that he not only rejects the message but seeks to argue against it.
They call me a racist.
Well, what he said was George Bush doesn't care about black people.
That says he's a racist. And I didn't appreciate it then, and I don't appreciate it now. It's one thing to say, I don't appreciate the way he's handled his business. It's another thing to say this man's a racist. I resent it. It's not true. And it was one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
However, it was also effective in changing others' minds, as in the case of Al Sharpton, who said it helped change his perspective of black hip-hop artists.
Last drink we ever had.
My reaction was, he's talking for a lot of us. A lot of us felt that Bush didn't like black people. And I was happy because I've been very critical of a lot of the hip-hop artists who have said nothing relevant, in many ways have said a lot of destructive things. I thought it was a breath of fresh air that at least somebody said something constructive.
This message was polarizing in that it contained heavy ego involvement on either side of the issue. Sharif says that the most effective argument, however, acknowledges the viewpoints outside the latitude of acceptance and works with them to actually change minds. Kanye West's message likely didn't change anyone's opinion on racism, but it worked on a more micro level to add to his credibility in the minds of others. Using this knowledge behind social judgment theory, we can all work to become better and more responsible communicators.